It's Friday. Welcome to another Friday and another episode of Bump Love. Thank you for welcoming us into your home. Some of you have sent us pictures of us on big, huge screens. You take that time. You're not even using this small. You're taking the time to watch us on big, huge screens. Thank you. Thank you. We see you. We notice you. Then, thank you to all of you who keep quiet and do not comment. We see you. We've met you. You're like 50, 40. You don't never comment. I want to encourage you today. Like, comment, subscribe, even share. You can't be there and you're watching this show and then you're ashamed to tell people you watch it. Why? Why now? Why? Tell the world about Bump Love, the things that you are getting out of the show. To share and subscribe, please. Again, please share. The topic today is, I'm really passionate about it. It involves children. As long as the topic involves children, I'm there 100%. But before we get into it, I would like both of you to close your eyes. Close your eyes. No emotion on your face for now. Think about how your week went. And let us know by the emotions on your face. Okay, tell us, how did your week go?
Who am I talking to?
Yeah, I'm starting with you because
all right.
On your face.
The week. It has been a good week with Emmanuel. Emmanuel's my husband, in case you don't know. Mrs. Beverley in Sengyumva. It's been a good week with him. You know, because, I don't know, maybe we have started a journey. We have hard conversations. People call them hard conversations. I don't know why they have to be called hard conversations. It's just a conversation where you want God to answer a particular thing. It doesn't have to be hard. Oh, let's have the hard conversation. And so in having that, those conversations are always prayerful as well. And we meet regularly to pray over particular things. Ever since we started, so much has changed in our personal lives and even together.
Right.
And I said, why do we always say, let's have the hard conversation? It's not hard. It's just change the approach. Yeah. Change the way you look at things. Right. It's almost like, oh my goodness, you're working for that person. They're difficult. No, change the approach. So when we change the approach and then added prayer, and I was like, why was I scared of this before? Why did it seem like an iceberg, an impossible thing to penetrate? It wasn't at all. Yeah. And I haven't changed. He hasn't changed. We just changed the approach. And therefore, the situation became so much more manageable and pleasant. Right. So that's how my week was.
Mm-hmm. My week was good. Tough, I think. Yeah. I traveled, I think, for like 4 days of the week. Yeah. I was traveling somewhere out of Kampala. So I'd get out of bed by 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, I'm in the car. Yes. Oh my God. Then come back home, get to bed like 10 o'clock. The next day, 6, yes. It's one of those that you have to remind yourself that this is what hard working means. Yes. And I know that at the end of the day, it's worth
pay.
It. So it's one of those weeks that have been really hard in terms of work.
Yeah. For me, this week has been you have high weeks and you have low weeks. This was one of the low ones. And I'd shared, I don't know whether I'd shared here. I hope, I don't know anyway, that I'm in a certain season of planting. And you know that thing where you're expecting to see some...
The forest. And
it's
taking years.
And it's taking
some
years.
germination.
Some germination at least. You know, some germination. So this week has been one of those weeks where I get to bed and I'm just reminded, you're planting. You're not going to see anything. But I want to cry and cover myself. So it's been those weeks where, guys, the planting seasons in life are just hardcore, the hardest. When you go through having to remove certain things of yourself, the pruning, the weeding, removing people from your life, I kind of feel like I've gotten used to that and I've learned how to manage my pain. So that whole planting season, this particular week was the low one where I wished I could see something better. Talking about seeing things better, what is better for you? What do you prefer? A male boss or a female boss?
My answer is so easy. Do you want me to say, or should I wait for you?
No, say.
Without a doubt, a male boss. Do you want to know why?
Why?
Because from experience, right? Not from rhetoric. A male boss from experience will not force me into a friendship or a sisterhood or a what? They will not. But from experience, a female boss is inclined to let's all. And I'm telling you, the moment it's forced, you know they're gossiping about you. And so I don't want that. A male boss first will look at the CV and say, what a great CV. Can you deliver? From my experience.
Right.
The time when I enjoyed a female boss was when she was British. Because she's one of the few women who saw my CV and said, I like you, and then harnessed what was on my CV, not put me in a box and say, this is what you should do. I want you. In other words, there's some people who edit your CV. That's what I achieved. Whom do you want? Do you want Beverly or somebody else? Then hire somebody else. You called Beverly. This is my CV. Don't change it to suit your mind process. This British lady was everything. She was so good that she bought my poetry books. In other words, if I leave and say my work is done, they'll understand. No further obligations. And if we become friends, it's organic. You people, vibrations and frequency once again.
No, but you know, you make such a great point. Sometimes women, we can be too intensely emotional.
It doesn't have to.
Yo!
Just get the job done and go.
Yes.
Sometimes
men
that's
just
what
want
it
you
means.
to get the job done.
And yes.
Oh, wow.
May I add?
Yeah, please. Feel
preferably outside East Africa also.
Right.
Because again, East Africans still think I am too much consistently. Consistently, I walk in and I'm like, which part of me do I have to tone down to make you comfortable today?
Right.
It's really exhausting. Others do not. And for me, vibration frequency is important. It's a struggle to keep dimming your light. It's a struggle. It's not right. It's not the way God wanted. He created Beverly, not Bev. L-E-Y, please, 3 E's. Let's finish it.
Yeah.
I feel, I feel I'm betraying God when I abandon whom He made me to be.
Yeah.
Yes. So there you go, male bosses for me. I'm interested to know what you have to say, because I know you've worked in different places. You have a wide experience.
I am a female boss, so you are just shaking my table, pouring my drinks as you are speaking. But everything you say is true.
Yes.
And not to defend the female bosses.
No.
But as women, a lot of our lives are emotional.
Yeah.
Right.
If a woman has had a fight with her husband at home, chances that she's going to be a pleasant boss that day
is difficult.
0.
That's true.
Yes. Yeah. If she's pregnant, if they have her parents are sick, if her children are being, stubborn, or it's women's lives are webbed. Everything is together. Work, with family, with children, with business, with money, with what. If she's got a loan that's giving her a headache, she can't be a good boss. Not to say that's a reason to...
No, I understand.
It's not a reason really to torture other people, but that's really one of the reasons why men are able to compartmentalize.
Yeah.
He'll have a fight with his wife, but the minute he gets to the door of the house, that's it.
Delivers a keynote address,
He'll
no one
enter
will
his
know.
car, and that's it. Gets to work and is able to deal with you. Men are also result-oriented. Women are...
experience-oriented.
Thank you.
On your way to accomplishing this goal, how did you make me feel?
One of my last bosses was a lady. And I remember, even if you had new shoes on Monday, you'd enter the office hoping she doesn't see them, because she'd be like, I see you have new shoes. How much are those shoes? Are you sure you guys are not living above your means?
What?
So man, we're hiding our things. You have new clothes on, and she's like, these days you're wearing a lot of new clothes. Do you have like a boyfriend buying new clothes? Yeah. So I feel like women don't draw the line between I am the boss here, I am not the mother.
Yes.
I'll let the employees or whoever is under me thrive. So it's tough working for women. Women are also very competitive.
Yes.
If she senses you're progressing quite fast and could be a threat to her job, then she starts to.
Yes.
Which men, first of all, he will think that I'm a man, she's good. What are the chances that she's going to get my job? Yeah.
Barbara, whom do you prefer, male or female bosses?
I'm a female boss, Banange.
Whom do you prefer? No. But your explanation is good. It's on point.
Was a man. And he's actually the one that sat me down and said, look, I feel like we're wasting you. You're too good to be an employee. Yes. You think very fast, you're strategic, you're moving. I actually feel guilty. So let's do this. Can I sell you shares in this business and we become partners.
Good.
So, male boss.
Yes.
Yes.
I did like your explanation of the female bosses, but you see, male boss here. Because the practical
a female boss would have looked at me and said, she's rising too fast, she's too good for us. She might want to steal my company. Right. The male boss sat and said, I feel like we're wasting you. Can we sell you shares? So we started my journey of entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yo, this is going to be one of those shows where people are going to be in the comment section and say, oh, I felt like this show was just about emancipating men. I feel like this show is a show where you're demeaning women. I feel like this is going to be the one because I also prefer male bosses.
Yes.
Apart from the reasons that you've shared, I feel that men have a way of detaching you and the job. Even because I feel like I grew my most when there were two male bosses in particular. I feel like I grew the most when I was with them. So they have a way of, and I think maybe it's because of who I am, they have a way of challenging you to want to do better, not in a negative way. They saw things in me that I didn't see before. Now, have I had female bosses before? Yes. Were they bad? No. These female bosses, though, made me feel like I was a superstar and I had reached my end. Like,
yes,
that's where you end. And not because
that's what they saw.
That's what they saw.
That was where they.
That's where they. And there was nothing wrong with that because I feel like I still thrived under them, and I did so well. Pastor Irene, Roslyn, Najuma, they did amazing with me because they looked at what I had and they nurtured it. The men, however, challenged me to what I didn't have yet. A certain thing on the inside of me that they saw. I don't know whether they saw or it's what they required. So I had to stretch beyond myself. I had to do more. I had to, because everybody else, my other bosses, they were happy with me just the way I am, and I loved it. But this thing about those men got me like, what is? And I'm telling you, this is for all the male bosses. They've always seen something. They've not seen something. They've challenged me for more because it's what they want. Whoever was going to come in my position, they were still going to challenge them to that. It was now up to you to step into it. And I think that's the difference between men and women, male and female bosses. Female bosses, honestly, I feel that they enjoy you as you are. They take in, that's what I've experienced. They enjoy as you are, they take you as you are, what's the best you can do? You can write documents like this. They don't ask you for more. Because for them it's an emotion. Their experience of working with you is more important. So men didn't care whether I felt good about the meeting or not. They just, what is this the letter you've written? And I'm telling you, I would enter that and I would be shaking. And I'm like, what did I do wrong this time? What haven't I? What could I do better? And so I felt like every time I went to the men bosses, I just wanted to reach a place where they're just like,
you see, but it wasn't about you, it was about your job. You see that when you said detaching, it wasn't about how you were dressed. Didn't matter whether you were pink, yellow, green. No. It was about
But I felt like that for me didn't matter.
Delivery.
I felt like that didn't matter for me for either of the men or the women. They didn't care. Because for me, they accepted me. Like my boss in the bank, Roslyn, super loved when I would come with like a blazer. It's the
high shoulder
in a bag. She would come and tell me, like, Baddie, wonderful. You know, like should be very, very fine with that. Slit high heels, should be fine with that. She'd never had any problem with my clothes.
Roslyn was my classmate in that.
She's amazing. She's a very good boss. And I felt that for her, she just nurtured everything I had and she squeezed it. The men, on the other hand, looked for something that was outside of my comfort zone that I had to extend myself. The other people who we do that often to is our children. Today, our topic of conversation is on whether we should be friends to our children. today I want us to talk about our relationships with our children. Should they be friends? Should they not? What does that look like? Yeah. But before we go to our children, let's go back to the past. What was your relationship with your parents?
I think let's start with how it has evolved.
Okay.
Yes. When we were younger, there were no nonsense. No, like you knew you could not get away with even the slightest thing. Like when they came back, you start going through your day. What did I do today? What did I do in the morning? What did I do in the evening? What did I do at night? Despite the fact they were very loving, you know, like they were kind and loving, but there were no nonsense. So you knew that these guys love me, but I also can't get away with rubbish. That was my relationship with them. How it has evolved, my mom now, my dad passed on over 20 years ago. So my mom is really now our friend. So, and when we remind her of those stories, she's like, no. You guys are exaggerating. We're like, what do you mean? I'm like, Mom, you are so tough. She'd wake up in the morning before she goes to work. My mom was a businesswoman. Before she goes to work, she comes to your bedroom. Why are you still in bed at this time? Do you know what it takes to run a home? Will you manage? She comes back in the evening. Have you done this? Is the house clean? Have you? Great. She was so tough. And yet, when she's the one who came to visit me in boarding school, she was the one I knew would bring the nice things, the nice grab. She would come on time.
So she was a disciplinarian.
Yes, she was kind and generous. Yes. Because you'd ask her, you'd say, I think I want a new dress, because she was always traveling. She would buy everything. But you knew you can't get away with bad grades, you can't get away with indiscipline. If she came to school and there was a story on indiscipline, you can't get away with it. Yeah. So it was two sides. Right now, she's so soft. As a grandmother, she's extremely soft. The things that we were punished for, she says, no, but Barbara, you need to ease up. It's just food. It's just what? You know, Yes. You need to ease up. Why you? Dress code. My mom was so strict on what you get to wear. Now when you're telling her grandchildren, guys, you need to be a bit modest, she's like, no, come on. First of all, she's even small. Yeah. Yes. So right now she's our friend. You know, you call. If you take about 3 days without calling her, she calls and says, is something wrong? You know, and what I usually tell people is that my mom is not one of my emergency contacts. Because I call her all the time, it's easy for her to look at her phone call and say, I'll talk to this one later. But you have an emergency at that time. Yeah. So we call her all, and that's for all of us. Yeah. She knows what's happening in everybody's life, even for those that don't live in the country. She will say, this one just called me in the morning. You know, she called me at 4 to tell me she was driving from work. So yeah, right now she's our friend, but before, no.
Your answer resonated so much for me. At the beginning with my mom and dad, there was a clear dad's role, a clear mother's role. Daddy had the money because of his job, went to great schools, and mommy was the one whom you could get away with when I say anything, the moment you came in, the atmosphere changed. We relaxed, literally putting your foot on that table. You see the difference, the shift. My dad died also over 20 years ago. My mom became everything possible to a point where I was like, what happened to the mother we knew? Duty. She had to become industrious and look after children and maintain the good schools we're at. Man, I thought, what happened to the relationship we had? Now as a mother, I know that when you are in a place and you're carrying on so many roles, sometimes you don't have that much time for the children, however much you want to. Yeah. And remember when we were in boarding school, those 3-week holidays, it's a short time to bond with your children. It's probably one of the reasons why I haven't taken my children to boarding school. Really, that is. But I realized it was a short time, and she worked so hard. And so for her, she grew up in the era where being a good mother meant providing. And that's beautiful because it is part of it, isn't it? Right. And balancing that with the relationship, she's like, you have so many aunties and uncles, extended family. And so that was the relationship we had. A lot of extended family because mommy was working hard for us. Yeah. So please, you have Bamama, Wakodja, you know? Yeah. So that was a relationship. And yet I appreciate that it's because she had to take on a huge role of providing.
Yeah. Yeah. My mom was like that because my parents, you know, split. And so my mom had to also take on the role of providing for the home and all of that stuff. But what I feel about, so when they were still together, my dad was actually the lounge person. Like he was so, like he would just come home, go and talk with his wife in the balcony. Yes. That's all he would do. After he has finished, pass by us, go to his bed and sleep.
Yes.
He was so chill. My mom, between the bedroom and the balcony, she has spanked you, there's so much she has already done just in that distance. But my father just walked through and
Yes.
so my mom, but then they separated, so I didn't have an active relationship with my dad.
Yes.
However, with my mom, I've found and I've learned with because I always thought she was a tough mom. She was being the parent.
Yes.
And then there were times I felt like she was being the friend.
Oh.
Like there was an evolving, like we evolved. But I've realized that my mom, it doesn't matter. No, it matters the situation we are in. Yes. She will either be a mom or a friend. You can't know who's coming.
Oh. But she's still a mother. Oh, right. Okay.
To date.
Okay, all right.
To date, my mom will come in, and I don't know if I've shared this on the show before. There was a time in my life, my mom would come, and then she would say, like to visit. Then she says, oh, let me go to the toilet. Then she goes to the toilet and checks my entire house.
Oh.
Then comes back and sits down. We finished the conversation. When she's on her way home, she has said bye. We finished praying. She sends a message. Where by the was. She'll open the fridge. She'll open the dustbin. She's making sure that
she's still a mom. Yes.
Yeah. Does it offend me? No. Actually, for me, I'm then the daughter.
Yes.
I'm like,
yes,
Molina. 100 out of 100, you know. But then there are times when she'll come, throw her legs in that, enjoy, have fun, have good conversation with us. There are times when she'll call me and say, where are you? Where are you? We gotta have a story to tell you. Imagine. Or she'll call me and say, I miss you. So recently, we bought her a car. We bought her a car and 2-3 weeks later and said, has a blessing ever pained you? This car, because of this car, because I used to pick her up every day of her life to go with her to work, drop her at work as I continue. Then the evening I come and pick her up and take her back home. I miss you so much. I miss my friend so much. But please note, on Monday I'll pick her up, she's being mommy. Yes. On Tuesday I'll pick her up, she's being my friend. On Wednesday she's my mommy. On Thursday, on Friday she's both. A situation has happened. I was listening to the radio and Brian said this. Have you... Now there, she's not being my friend. She's being my mother. No, Mimi. If this is the case, if Brian has come and, you know, even if she sees an Instagram post, she'll say, Mimi, I saw this thing. I think she'll be the mom. But 2 minutes later, we are back in like some Lugambo, so for me, there's this thing she does that's so, and I love it. I really honestly enjoy it and love my relationship. She was my matron for my wedding.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah. So I love her. She's my friend and mom at the same time. On that day of the wedding, she was both.
Yes. She was being mother
and friend at the same time.
Are you mother and friend to your children? Like, what relationships do we have with our children?
Wow. It's like a buffet meal. Spicy, cold, with vinegar, delicious, tender, soft, ready to eat, burnt. But it's all part of the meal. If you miss out one, it's incomplete. Right. Because there are times you have to be spicy and strict. There are times when you're tender, calm. There are times when it's ready to eat now. There are times when it's fermented over time, now it's ripe. In other words, the lesson has been given for years, now it's ripe. Other times it's, this looks like a fun pudding. And so it's like that. Without any of them, it's incomplete. If I'm only the fun mom, I'm incomplete. Right. If I'm only the strict mom, I'm incomplete. Right. Because I have to be a mom also who cares when they're hurting, emotionally and physically. Right. I'm the mom who senses something isn't right, something happened at school. Yeah. I'm the mom with whom they can only share something with. And that's one thing that is so important. I told Emmanuel, if none of these people can share everything with us, they'll find an alternative.
Right.
And again, you cannot force it. It's like you cannot force it. You cannot say, I'm your mother, tell me.
Yeah.
That's when you'll draw further away.
Right.
You must have built it. And it's difficult, isn't it?
Right.
Because you want them to be, but then you're like, but I'm them. It's a difficult balance. And yet deep down you want it. And then sometimes the things are too tough. You're like, child counselor is where? But what I mean is that anything, they should be open to share with us. And that trust has to be built. Don't break that trust. I've said it, don't read that diary. Knock on the door. Don't share things with the auntie. Even if they know the auntie is special, don't share secrets with the auntie. Don't. Please don't. My children don't like photos on social media, so I stopped. Well, the eldest too. Please don't share. I don't. Even on status up, they said don't, and I don't anymore. So when people say, Zion, we saw, I'm like, they saw a photo of long ago, of a year ago. It's not a recent one. They are really, and I respect that. And I used to, basketball, see, oh my goodness, they're tall. The moment Zion and Razella said, we don't want, respect it. Don't say, sometimes I'm like, but I have to show. So if it's a birthday, I'll just show the cake on a Facebook story and say, someone turned 7.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
I feel like my relationship right now with my children is one where, you know, I recently posted a TikTok and I have a feeling this one will be misunderstood, but let me try.
Yes.
My children are leading my parenting.
Ah, that's a good idea.
I have very opinionated children. And I said, let them guide the parenting. And what do I mean? The other day...
You said guide, you said lead. Can we pick one word?
One.
Because your video
One
is about
lead.
But I hear you're talking about guidance.
Yes, it's
which
guide.
Is a totally different
They're totally different, yes. I'm allowing them to guide. I allow feedback from my children. So recently we're having a conversation, and I think it was probably yesterday? Yes. And in fact, if I remember, my Bianca was really upset. And it was on the notion of whether, like when Brian and I are upset, how we treat them.
Oh, when you're in that moment of being upset. Yes.
So they were giving me feedback. The original parent that I would love to be is one where you don't even have that time. If I'm annoyed, I'm annoyed. You have done something wrong, and I'm going to do with you as I please.
Because you're the mother.
Because I'm the mother. Yes. But what happened is that in this feedback session, they said, you see, Mommy, whether you shout at us or you don't, we've heard you. So Bianca was telling me that for her, she sees my face. And for her, it's my face that shows her that I'm upset. It's not that I've shouted. It's not that I've kept quiet. It's not I've gone. So I'm like, oh, so Bianca gets my facial expression when and that's what kills her. Like, not kills her. That's what shows her that, oh my God, I've really upset Mommy. So if I was going to be those parents who was led of myself, so say, for example, when you're annoyed with your parents, with your children, people say, go away, take away your anger or and breathe in, then come back. If I go away, Bianca won't see that I was upset.
So do you want her to see the facial expression?
No, she's guiding me
Can
because
she help the facial expression?
I can't help.
Yes.
So she's guiding me by telling me, by the way, what's most important for me is seeing your facial expression.
All right.
Not you shouting and not you going away in a bedroom to
cool off.
You don't need to cool off. For me, as long as I see your face, don't shout, don't walk away.
Yes.
So me, I would have loved to shout immediately, be upset, spank or whatever. Then early childhood tells me, no. Go away, hide in a room, let your anger go down, then come back. But Bianca is saying no, neither of the two. For me, when I see your face, I know that you are upset. Blake sees my being upset days later.
He's
so when he sees me, he's like, now why is she shouting? He only realizes I'm upset later or when I talk to him and explain to him. So it's like, but Mommy, when I see you shouting, when you talk so fast, I just get confused.
Yes.
So for me, you'd prefer I have a conversation with him at that time. So they are guiding my parenting.
Yes.
Now, this is different from the video I sent, I shared, where I was talking about leading, where your children tell you what to do. In this conversation that I had with them, I explained to them the reason as to why I end up shouting.
Yes.
I end up shouting because I'm frustrated. I've told it to them more than 3 times. They're like, oh.
Yes.
Then they're like, so how do you count the 3 times?
Oh, my goodness.
So, and I explained to them, when I warn you and I warn you the 3rd time, Bianca says, so do you count us after 1, 2, 3,
oh
the 4th time, or 1, 2,
specific questions.
Very specific questions. Now, in me, who I truly am, I would have wanted to do it as I please. But knowing how it affects them and what would be more effective for them is what is now what's guiding my relationship with them. I'm actually hearing them. Do I agree sometimes with the things they said? I said no. So I told them in our conversation, in this particular case, I told them that, 1, I'm human. And the way I express my anger is that I shout. So this is what we are going to do. There are times I will remember and I will take you, Blake, and talk to you. Or you will see my facial expression or whatever it is that shows you that mommy is angry. But I need to be able to show you when I am angry, the way I know how to be angry. But this is what I'm going to do. After I've shown you I'm angry, I'll come and show you again how I'm angry, the way you realize that I am angry. So, Bianca, I hope you'll be able to see my facial expression. I will come and talk to you, Blake. I'll come and explain what you've done to me. Yes, when I'm shouting, I'll remember that you're not hearing me. And I'll have to come back and have a conversation with you and tell you that I was upset. So the relationship I'm now having with them is more, I'm hearing them. Yes. I'm hearing them out and seeing what works for this relationship. So that's how my relationship is with my children. And I'm trying it out because I know also they are growing older. When they were younger,
yes, you had to be strict.
I had to
and set. Yes.
But now that they are growing older, I'm being more open to hearing them out. Yeah.
Hey. So we have 2 sets of children. We have the older ones that are 18 up to 23, and then we have 17
and below.
So of course the parenting is different, the relationship is different. The older ones, I'm now doing advisory. It's really, this is happening in my life, what should I do? You advise. You see something you need to advise, you're like, no, but I don't think as a lady, that's right, that should be. Just, we're at advisory point.
Yes.
And most of the time it's when they seek the advice. Because they've got to be comfortable enough to come and seek that advice without feeling that you're going to judge or rain down on them or report them.
I've always wanted to know when you're giving advice. So they want advice from you, give it.
Yeah.
What is their response? Because you can give advice and they may not take it. No, but they don't take it spitefully, you know what I mean? They're just like, in other words, how do they consider it? Let me say that. What is their response to the advice?
It's different.
Yes.
It varies. Sometimes you tell and they'll, no. They think you're too old school.
Okay, that's good.
And sometimes they'll take it. But even when I've learned that, even when they don't, they argue or say they're not going to, when they go back and think about it, they might actually take the advice. So I'm at a point where, whether you take the advice or you don't, it is my role
to give
the advice. Good. Yeah. So I don't take it personal. If I give you the advice and you don't take it, I played my part.
Yes.
And one day you'll think about it and you're like, okay, I think I actually need to do this. The younger ones though.
You're not advising.
I will tell a story. One of them came and told me once, Mommy, my friends in the dormitory really love you. So I'd go to school and there are little girls waving at me, different faces. And they're like, hey, hi. It's like, Mommy, do you know what? Every time you come, they're waving, they're happy. I go back and they're like, my God, you're so lucky. Your mom is pretty, she's stylish, she's kind, she's your friend. So I was watching her, then she burst out and laughed. I said, why are you laughing? I hope you didn't ruin my reputation in the dormitory. I want to come back and I'm still a celebrity. Yes. She said, Mommy, no. I sat them down and said,
oh my goodness.
What you see is here. What she is
at home.
I said, no, really.
My ruined everything.
I told her, how could you do that to me?
They don't wave at you anymore?
They still do. But now it's not.
It's like
people's heads were through windows.
Fighting.
Now it's, so I said, but why did you do that? She said, because mommy, they'll come to you. You'll come to school. They'll come running to you, and they're happy and what. And then someone will say or do something inappropriate, and you will rain down on them.
Yes.
So I just wanted to prepare their hearts that, in as much as it looks glamorous, on the inside there's an iron lady waiting. I found it so funny. I said, is that what you really think? It's like, yeah, mommy, you can be kind, you can be nice, but when someone does something inappropriate, that's it for us. Yes. Another, and then there's also another one that said, but mommy, you push us to do things way above our limits. And for you, we watch you and you seem to be quite comfortable. I'm like, that was my mother's problem. you are mine. Yeah, a few friends were going mountain climbing and they asked, are you going? I'm like, no, of course not. What if I die up there? And they're like, you see, mommy, if it was us, you are going to push us to go. If there were people at school going, you are going to push us to go. Not just one, 3 mountains, please. Yes. I said, that's my mother's problem. I will push you because I have to get the best out of you. So it's really that kind of relationship where they can speak and laugh about it. Or I said, like, the problem with you is you're too tough. I'm like, if your mother was tough, you would not tell her that she's tough. But of course, they're too young to realize it. Now they feel I can be a little bit tough, but the fact that they can look me in my eyes and say that you're too tough. That's not. So are you going to tighten the reins? But I'll tell you. I think we're doing well. No, my British mentor, as a teacher, she said, the truth is, children like adults who are strict. That's the truth, because they know you care. They need the security. Children need security. And while they may admire those who seem to have a lavish life and loose morals because it seems cool, those people from those homes are inwardly suffering. They look to you, the strict ones, and they wish they had it. That's the truth. They want someone present. Be strict, be present. As a teacher, the students feel secure with a teacher who is strict. Children feel secure with a parent who has control and has tightened them. Not one who's so loose and free. So do what you're doing. The discipline, in other words, the discipline. Not too strict that they're scared of breathing around you, but the discipline. They may not say it and they may whine and complain, but that's what is preferred. Deep down, I'm telling you. Or it's something that they would appreciate. Yes, they will. Yes. And even now they feel secure. Do you know if you're a loose person and they'll be like, let's go to auntie because mommy is not ready. Do you know how painful it will be when they can't go to you because they're not secure around you? You have shown too much friendship and it's terrible. So be the person they're secure to run towards. Like a fortress. Oh my goodness, this calls for a poem. No. Let's go to the... I was feeling the poetic energy coming. I was feeling it. But that's the truth. I'm telling you, do what you're doing. They need the security. They do. They do. Based on your upbringing, how was that influenced the way you parent?
Mine was a defining moment. I was dating someone, and me and my mom had a very sour relationship. And it was based off of her assumption about what happens in relationships. You must be having sex. You must be pregnant by now. Why are you oversleeping? Yes. So because of that, and there are times I told her, I just wish you'd ask me. I really wish you'd ask me. I'll tell you, you know. And so that's why for like now when it comes to Blake and Bianca, their contribution to our conversation is very important to me. That even before, that's why I hear them. I feel like I could have the way that relationship was in such a way that it stayed longer than it should have, just because of what was happening at home. Because mommy was against the relationship stayed longer than it should have. Had I been in a place where I could share with my mom, even in how wrong it was for her, in her opinion, there's so many things that she could have done. I keep saying that, and to date we talk about it. I say, you know, if I had come and told you he did this, you'd have said, which kind of man is it? If it is me, I cannot allow such to happen. I would have left the guy, because your opinion for me as mommy was so important and was so big for me. And it meant a lot. But now what your objection to the relationship did was it pushed me further and further away, especially because it was based on assumptions that were not even there. They were not true, you know. So it's because of that that now I have conversations with my children to guide me through the parenting. That I feel that my mom could have still told me that that relationship was wrong without us having had to ever be apart or not talk to each other. We didn't talk to each other for years. Even after I broke up that relationship, even after it ended, we still did not talk the way we should have been talking. And so I feel like I missed out so much on her wisdom, on her as a mom, just because of that. So I feel like for me, friendship and connection is important to guide, to be able to guide me through life's challenges. Because when I thought about it, I was in my mind, I was like, but mommy, you're having these problems with my relationships. You've not even told me about, you weren't perfect. You weren't perfect, especially according to the stories from my aunties. No, you are not. Aunties!
Be warned. Are we those aunties?
We might be the one. Not at all. Yeah. So you were not, even your relationship where you gave birth to me and my brothers was one that was looked down upon from the people around you. So no, this is a thing where we should have been together. And you said, you know, when someone doesn't think your relationship is good, you know, many times they might be right. Now you look at me and your dad. See where we are. Those things would have made me, made sense to me over saying, that's about relationship, go and talk to the boy's parents. Hey! The thing that a mother would do, Anyway, so for me, that's what guided it. And now I'm just in a place where I will not agree with what you're saying as a child. But I will listen. I will hear you out.
You listen.
I'll listen, and that will help me guide. That will help guide my parents.
So important. For me, as long as Emma is alive, let them know that there are two parents and not one. It doesn't matter how strong I may appear. It doesn't matter how many books I've read on parenting, or how much experience, or how many Bump Love episodes I've done on parenting. There is a father in the picture. He must be involved. And where did this come from? I really can't point to where, but as I said, the roles were so distinct. Daddy went to work, brought the money, mommy did this, and a lot has changed, of course, since then, because then it meant, so do I go to daddy for the academic things, and mommy, will she understand my academic? No, go to her for the... Let both parents be involved in everything, you see? Be involved in everything. Of course, there's some female things that are too personal, menstrual periods and things. He knows, but it's not his role to. Those are really intimate things. But as long as Emmanuel is alive, let the children be aware we're different personalities, but we both have equally important roles
in their
no matter
lives.
what. No matter what.
Yeah. It probably came from the fact that you were in a single mother home.
Yes, for a long time.
Yes, for a very long time.
Yes.
I found that I've also had to be very conscious about that. There are times when they'll come and say something, and because I was born in a single, because I was not born, because I was raised in a single home, I'll just be like, no, this is something you should tell your father. You don't tell me, you don't have to tell me everything. Or there are things where they'll come and tell me something, and I'll say, okay, let me check with daddy. Even when I have the answer. Even when you have the answer. Yes. Even when I have the answer, I'll say, you know what? Let me check with daddy. Let me check with daddy. No, daddy and I are going to have a discussion.
It raises the level of respect for him. And
for you.
Yes. Do you play those games of first go and tell daddy and let me know what he says? Do you know those things?
No, I don't. But I do it when there are times. Let's say we'll be in the car. Their daddy's driving. Mommy, where are we going? I'm like, the person driving is right
all right.
to you.
Okay.
Ask daddy where we're going. Okay.
No, ask it. Is it because you don't know either?
No, I've been.
Okay.
But they're just, I asked
let
daddy.
And then they walk because they
but they knew they could ask me.
Yes.
So that's the only reason. And I know I could have answered.
Yes.
Because I know where we are going.
Yes.
But I'm just like, you asking me down driving. Yeah, okay. Their dad can come in with like bags like caveras and one. Man, what has daddy bro?
One was broke.
They're going to ask him. It's okay because I keep telling people, guys, Brian is tough. He's a tough dad. He really is. Like, they know they're like her. That one. There's no playing around with when it comes to daddy. Yeah.
I think one of the things that changed my parenting is your course.
Oh,
the parenting course. Yes. Are you still doing it though? I don't hear you talk about it much.
It's now online, so whoever needs it gets it.
Yes, it was lockdown.
Yes,
I think it was either beginning or mid of lockdown. I did her parenting course, which really changed. What changed? One was children are parented differently.
Yeah.
There was a one size fits all, and yet their characters are different. Their characters are different. There are some who are compliant. You don't have to parent. You don't have to be as tough. Then there are those who push boundaries for every single thing.
Yes.
You have to make sure that you are the firm one there.
Yes.
And then there was authoritative and authoritarian. I think I was authoritarian. Yes, like my word goes. What, mommy? Why? Because I am mommy. So why are we doing? Because your children. Because I've said so. But after doing her course, I realized that 1, parent differently. 2, you can be authoritative. You're still in charge.
Yeah.
But then you're not the bully. You're not a bully. When the car is being packed, people are running around. When you walk into the house, everybody's organizing the pillows and what. Yeah, so I think for me, the parenting course really changed my blueprint, because we parent a lot from the way we were parented.
Yes. Right.
We've got that blueprint, and there's not much you can do about it until you stand consciously and say, look, somebody has to end this thing.
Yes. Yeah.
Mine ended with MANUELA'S
parenting course.
Yes.
Actually, it's available. It's online. Everything is there. We are in a group of parents who have done that course, and we keep asking each other questions like, well, how did you navigate this? But the course is now online. In case you want it, I'll leave a link. I'll make sure I'll leave a link. But that said, let me say something about that parenting course. One of the things that we talk about is value-based parenting over any other kind of parenting. So when you raise children, when you raise children based on certain values that they know. Most people raise children on values that them as a parent they were raised with, but they've not even let their children know. They can't even write them. One of the exercises that I asked them to do during the parenting course is write down the values, their personal values, not their parents' values. Although that's part of the course, they write their parents' values, they write the values, then they decide the values for which they are going to drive their children. Because you can't drive your children based on all the values. Some values you need to live for life to teach your children. There should be those that are principle, they are core, that you're passionate about, that you believe your children should be raised with. Those are the ones that you focus on, and you keep repeating them over and above everything else. But it also allows you to let certain things go. I'll give you an example. In the Mulondo family, we value hard work. Period. Okay? So when you're not being hardworking, we will have an issue with you. And we will say it. We'll say, but Mulondo, how is it that you don't work? I don't understand. But we will leave certain things to go because they are not part of our value system. We'll just, that one you can pass. I'll give you an example. The other day, I heard that my daughter Bianca was cooking people. How she got her phone when she was 2 years old. So that she can be so cool. In Brian's mind, he's like, let her cook them. That's when she'll bring her, she's considered creative. She'll even become a head girl just by telling people those things. And also, you understand. But for another parent, that's very important. It's a big value system. So we tell the truth. We tell the truth who we are. So there are certain things that you let go. Brian and I have and let me tell you, this value system has to be agreed on by you. I
was about to say, it has to be agreed on. Yes, that's why it's confusing for the parent.
Children, if it's not. Now imagine I'm spanking her for that, and then the father is like, but now why did you? But when it comes to hard work, me and Brian are on the same page. You must be on the same page. You must work hard. So when we're doing that value-based parenting, I also tell them, now after you finish, check in with your
spouse.
Your spouse, so that you check off those that are not actually values to him, because you don't have to be in a family where you're like, "No, my father can do but my mother."
Oh,
you understand?
Yes,
so
yes.
your parenting is consistent.
Yes.
Whether they go to mommy or they go to daddy,
The responses,
are
based on the values
are consistent.
the same.
Yeah. So I thought I should just
Just to add, I think just one thing on the values. When the children have understood the values, you start to hear conversations between them, like, in this house we don't do those things.
Yes, that's true.
Yes,
Yes.
no, we in this family we don't do those things. We're not unkind. We're not rude.
Oh, that's so
we're not
good.
lazy in this
Yes.
family. Then the children have understood, because after you've decided the values, I remember it was sit down with the children.
Yes.
Yes.
Go through, let them
Each of the
understand
the
each
value.
of the values, and then there was even another, hang them where they can see.
See them, yes.
So we hang them
hang them.
on their closets, and I
Yeah.
think there was also one in our bedroom.
Yes.
Yes. So every time they open, they look at it. It sort of reminds them that,
Yes.
and of course it will sleep. Once in a while, you'll hear someone say something to their friend, and you're like, we said we are kind in this house.
in this house.
What is this? Yes.
I remember that word of kindness. There was a time I put kindness. I think I was like, Brian, kindness. It's like, no. Some people need to be treated rudely. I said, that's clearly not a value that's coming into
That
our.
one,
Let me put it.
won't
It's like,
work.
no, Manuela. They'll step on our children.
Yes.
Whatever, even you have a problem with you. No, the people
Yes.
step on you. You need to do like this. So he's very. That's the reason as to why you both have to be on the same page in values. I just thought I should say that again. Sometimes the same thing can be seen differently. You know, like that one which I've just shared with you about Bianca cooking her friends. One person sees it as creative, and another person
I'm
sees it
sorry, I
as
don't
a
understand
lie.
what cooking friends.
Lying.
Oh, okay. Because it's just like, they understand. You seem to understand. You love cooking. I was like, ha ha. It's like, ha ha ha. It's like,
Maybe I also used to be
I
a
was like,
cooker
should
in
I
primary
laugh?
school.
So I was like, am I supposed to laugh? Ha ha ha. Wow, Bianca.
Never, you don't know how to cook your friends. Cooking
I don't know what it means.
Cooking your friends is where you elevate.
Oh.
You see that all of your friends, you all have phones.
Yes.
So you have to take away beda. So cooking, while someone will think
Yes.
it's being creative,
Yes.
someone's like, no, that's a lie.
Oh,
You
okay.
understand?
All
So,
right.
nyabo,
Yes.
that's what cooking is.
Okay.
It's not that English that you have of yours. But that said,
Yeah.
there's an old adage of a question that I think every parent always ponders upon, thinks about. Should we be our children's friends?
Wow.
I met a child counselor once who told me, Barbara, your children don't want to be your friends. That thing is in parents. Yes, she said that thing is in parents' minds. That I need to be my child's friend, and it's selfish because so that she can tell me everything that's happening in her life, so that later on when he moves out and gets married, he can still call me and come back and be my friend. He can still come back home and visit me. It's really selfish for the parents saying that. Let me be their friend so that we can hold on to our relationship. Just that they don't want. They have friends.
Yes.
First of all, you're not cool. You don't know the latest
I'm
trends.
trying.
Yes.
You don't know the latest dances.
I'm watching TikTok.
You know how they say, this is a TikTok dance. You don't know it. So
We are
they've got
trying. No, Barbara, you're doing us badly.
said, be
Wow.
a parent.
Be a parent. I
What
agree.
they need now most is guidance.
Yes.
Is that firmness that keeps them on ground,
Yes.
and they'll be grateful for it later.
Yes,
That
yes.
parent that was, and I'm not saying let's not be kind to our children. Let's be kind. Let's be nice.
Yes.
When they come to speak to you,
Yes.
speak to them. When they come to open up, let's have good times with them. Let's play games with
Of
them.
course, yes.
I mean, we just described what friendship was
Yes.
recently here.
Yes.
Do we have the same value systems with our children? Do they understand what we're saying?
No.
Can we connect with them at that level?
No.
When you've had a challenge at work and you go back and explain to your child that the boss is sexually harassing me, you're even giving your child something too heavy for them to carry.
Traumatizing.
Because every
Yes.
time you go out of the house, they're like, my mother's gone, the boss
Yes.
is going to harass her.
You're
Yes.
me.
Yes.
Me hold my glasses.
No, my answer
There's
is
a
no.
point.
They don't
They don't need to be.
their friend. They have friends.
Yes.
And so do you.
I was going to say yes, but from age 45. When you're 45, as a child, That's when the mother, if she's alive,
Babe.
should then allow you, because
25
most
really.
likely before that, because when you're having a baby, you need a mother, not a friend, not someone who makes squirmish. Oh my goodness! My second born was natural delivery. Emma had one hand, my mother had the other. I needed a mother, not a friend. I did not need Barbara. I needed my mother.
Because Barbara, the pain would have become too much. My friend is going to die from you.
You'd have just gone and started WhatsApping people. What is this?
You guys, I was with my sister in labor. When the things became too tough, I went and sat in the corridor.
Even my sister
I was
came.
so scared. I sat in the corridor until I had the babies cry.
Because I needed a warrior who is the mother. Emma was there out of duty. He cut the cord, I think. I was in too much pain to care. Woo, that pain. So I'm telling you. And I was the second born, I was 35. Third born, fourth born, 42 and 43. I still needed a mother because there are certain things that your body goes through. By 45, I'd had all the children. And what I'm saying is that allow your mother to be a mother up to as old as possible. I think you still need it. However, you then adjust your strictness because she gives me more control over what I do, of course. You said your mother checks the bathroom and what? He said, now my mother,
it's my work.
We shouldn't deny our parents the parenting, no matter how old we are. Because if they're old enough to see their great-grandchildren, you will learn about grandparenting from them. Right. But then, of course, you're more flexible. Right. I think as well that instead of becoming their friends, know their friends and their friends' parents. I thought I was a cool parent because I taught my daughter. And she used to say, you're the cool teacher. Until recently, she said, Mommy, every parent embarrasses their children, no matter how hard you try. I said, all right, taking me back to the parent zone. Yeah. But that's the truth. In other words, she said it affectionately. And why don't behave? We think that behaving like a teenager draws us closer. It repels. You're trying too hard. Right. When the children come, can you please remain in your apron? It's okay. They understand. Right. And again, security. If they see you in short shorts, they won't feel secure. And you'll find the visits decreasing. You'll wonder why. Even the parents will have excuses all the time. Be the secure adult. Don't dress like them. Don't try and act like them. Be the mother. You can be a cool mother.
Have you seen the meme? Was it a meme? It was a TikTok video where a girl comes out, she's going out. The mom is like, why are you going dressed like that? Why are you going to the mall? Because we're going to the mall together. Why are you dressed like that? And she's like, because that's how people dress. Call the mother and the father as if on instinct. Oh, they both run into the room. The mother comes with a short shorts. The father also came out with a and they said, okay, now let's go. So she's like,
where are we going?
She's like, I never thought. That's how everybody dresses. Oh my goodness. The girl was like, no, let me go back and change. The man was like, no, let's go. Want to be like everyone. Let's go.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
But that said, I think you should be, as a parent, I told you, you're already throwing my cups. And yes. I feel that you should be the friend of a child who feels best parented by you when you're their friend. And be the parent of the one who feels best parented by you as a parent. Because people are different, and I've come to respect that. The thing that we talked about earlier that I teach in my parenting course. There's a child who desires your friendship. I desired a friend out of a mother. Yes. And especially in that period, and I think it's also important to know in which period your child requires a friend over a parent. Because there are times when being a parent will repel them, and time being a friend will repel them in a certain season of their lives. And so for me, where I sit right now, and I think that might change, I don't know, but where I sit, I want to take on the cues and hear, does Bianca need a friend right now? Or so does she need a parent right now? Does Blake need a friend right now, or does Blake need a parent right now? Which one? Yeah, which one should I give them at this point? Which one will best serve them. Because ultimately, I want them to be a good human being.
That's great,
for
yeah.
this world. I want them to reach their full potential.
Yes.
I want to do with them what God wants me to do with them. But I can't do it if I'm so stuck.
Yes.
I can't be your friend. I have to be your parent, or I have to be your parent.
Yes.
I can't be your friend, or I have to be your friend. I can't. I'm just in a place
Yes.
where how best can I bring out what is required of my child at this time? And if it's a parent, I will be the parent. If it's a friend, I will be a friend. I'll give you an example. Recently, I was having a conversation with them. We do a lot of conversations with our kids. That's the honest truth. Yeah. I was having a conversation with them because Blake had done something in school. And unlike Bianca will always come and tell me very quickly, oh, by the way, mommy, at school I did this, the school is going to call you.
Oh, punitive, meaning something wrong?
Yes, she's done something wrong. She's like, mommy, I did this, the school is going to call you. Or even when she has done it, she'll go to like the deputy headmistress and say, please, call mommy. Call mommy now. The deputy doesn't know what she has done. Oh. She picks the phone, she calls, it's like, mommy, I've messed up. What did you do? I did like this, like this, like this, like this. Okay. They are going to call you. But mommy, I'm telling you now, me, I'm sorry. It wasn't.
All right.
Me, I'm very sorry. Me, I'm really, really sorry. So Blake doesn't. And so I was having a conversation.
Fights like a soldier.
Yeah, he felt like a soldier there. So now, something happened. Bianca is actually the one who told me. I said, by the way, your son has not told you.
Your son.
But this happened at school. The school will be calling you soon. And it's financial. You have to pay back some stuff.
Oh my goodness.
That was, just so you know. I waited for Blake.
Oh.
Week 1, week 2.
You threw hints. You threw hints.
I even threw hints. Man. No word. And he would be there and I'm talking.
Is there anything you need to tell me?
Is there anything?
No.
How was school today?
It was good.
I love you, mommy.
Love you, mommy. This is how I did this. That's one which he did. He did not tell me. So I did have a conversation with him. I said, oh, I heard that this happened. He's like, have the school called you? I said, no. It's like, okay.
So that's the parameter, if the school calls?
Yeah, if you find out, okay. But for you now, how did you find out? The school hasn't called you.
So the problem is that you found out from another source, not that he did it, not the deed.
Yeah, it's not that he did it. So I did have a conversation with him. I said, you know, Blake, why I wanted to find out why I wasn't a safe place for him to tell what had happened in school, because I never ever want him to be in a place in his life where he has nowhere to go, and I'm not the person that or even somebody like a close person. So I asked him, did you tell Uncle Baba? Did you tell Papa? Did you tell Uncle Baba? He was just like, I just hoped it would disappear. And indeed, it looks like it has disappeared.
Some of us adults are still like that.
Yes.
Because, yes.
But I don't know if that's what will always happen. And I was just like, you know, you need to be in a place where you tell somebody other than yourself.
Yes.
Or other than hoping that it will disappear. Tell an adult in your life, I want to know that you have somebody that you have spoken to when you are in trouble. Then he said, I was in trouble, but the other one was in more trouble. So I didn't think.
Let them sort that one out.
Let them first sort that one out before me. So where was I going with this? It's I need to realize that for that now I needed to be a parent.
Yes.
Not his friend.
Wow.
And I need to tell him, no, that's not how it's done. When you're in trouble, tell somebody. So next time, if you can't tell me, at the very least, tell Bianca. Tell somebody that you're in trouble, that there's something that's not going right. No matter what it means, tell somebody. I wasn't going to be like, you know, I get you, I understand.
Yes.
I'm your friend.
I used to be like that as well when I was a child.
No, I'm not going to be your friend for this one. So, and yet for Bianca, by virtue of the fact that she comes and tells me, I can be her friend. Yeah? Let me give you an example. There was a time she beat up a boy for teasing her. I came for the boy crying. She had called me and told me, by the way, mommy. So I came for the boy crying. She was just there sucking her fingers. She was like, but I didn't even give her. She just told me, mommy, you just know, I'm sorry. So when I went in, they explained to me what she had done. She said, mommy, he was teasing me.
Yes.
He was bullying me. He was being mean to me.
Yes.
I low-key went and told her,
You go, girl.
you go, girl.
High five. Under
High
the table,
five,
high five.
Under the table, high five. She could not believe, because I had said I would like to speak to Bianca alone, because she didn't know what my reaction was going to be. Now that I had the full story, because I don't only go on her story. Well, even if she has told me she's so sorry, I want to hear the other side of the story. So when I had both sides of the story, I said, can I speak to Bianca alone? We went I said, my girl, they bully you, don't leave them there. After, she was like, Mommy, are you serious? I said, yes. I don't think as being a parent. No. As being her friend.
You know, that one, because some bullying is really damaging. Right. As long as you are a parent and you give the balance, because some bullying is damaging. In other words, let her know there's a system that will manage the bullying, because some bullying is damaging. Let her know that there's something
she wasn't waiting
that
for
can
it.
be
Because for me as a friend,
yes,
as a parent, those
yes,
are the wonderful things I was telling. I would tell her. Yeah, just being a, you know, when your friend, you say, can you imagine my boss did this in the name I went, you know, I'm like, young like, man. But that's adults, it's different. Adults, I'm saying that's what you were saying. In terms of how we know it, your friend will always have your back. Yes. And I needed her to know that. Yes, because parents, and they don't always have. There are times they're on the other side. Yes. But a friend, even when you're in the wrong, they are with you. So on that day, she was so scared. Yeah. But I knew that's what she needed. She needed that. That's what I was saying. It's good. That was good. Yeah. But another time, she might do something and it's worse. Yes, and it's worse. Yeah. Because she wasn't being the bully. She was being bullied. Just standing up for herself. By an older boy, and she was standing up for herself. I think that's okay if she fought back. And that's what I really do. Most parents maybe wouldn't. Really. It's like a tightrope, isn't it? Yeah. Or a seesaw. If you're imbalanced, it's going to be there. And so constantly we're balancing. Right. What I like about what both of you have shared is that you intentionally want to become the best version of parents. Yeah. And so you learn from your friendship experiences and you learn from your parenting experiences. You've heard about Manuela's course. The link is below. Most importantly, if you're a parent, listen to your heart, listen to your mind, listen to other parents who are doing an exceedingly great job. While I believe a village doesn't raise a child, I do also believe we learn from others. Don't abdicate your role and give it to others to raise your child, but learn. Learn. There are great books, online courses, good friends, even parenting seminars. I've attended 1 or 2 online and I've learned so much from people. Other people showing me how I can raise my children better. Don't be alone. If your partner is in the picture, mother or father of the child, embrace that as well. Most importantly, enjoy the journey. Right. When you enjoy it, the children will enjoy being your children. That's what I believe. They'll enjoy being your children. God bless you so much. It's been wonderful having you another Friday, another time to learn, share. Remember, those who are first here, even those who are second, the third one who came from Rwanda, the fourth who came from India, we love you all. Like, comment, share this experience, because the experience of parenting is universal and it's endless. We're learning every day. And these parents here, they were dressed by the best. They were dressed by the best. Share your Glam Squad team.
Zuri Luxury for the hair, Essence Store, their Essence Store for the jewelry, the Sununu Effect for makeup, clothes by David Kabenge.
Oh, that's so
great.
Nice.
Yes.
My hair is by Zuri Luxury. Today, actually, my face bits is by the Sununu Effect. My clothes are from Cadia.
And there you have it. My hair is by none other than Baddie Salon. A Baddie girl is someone who knows what she wants and goes for it. They're based in Kisementi. And my clothes, Arija Fashion. For corporate wear, I wouldn't go anywhere else. This is my season for Arija. Thank you so much for being with us. God bless you all, and we'll see you next Friday.
Bye-bye.